Good morning, and welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. Opposed to last Monday, it's not as happy, is it? But I don't think it really matters. Of course, last Monday I was discussing a brilliant home win to Manchester United that pretty much all but secured Premier League safety. This Monday, we're here talking about a dead rubber game that was dead rubber because of that win over Manchester United. We're all but safe now, and I think if Leicester lose to Liverpool later on today, then it mathematically confirms it. But we all know pretty much that we're safe. And I think Moyes did the right thing in the end. You know, he got plenty of praise pre-match for switching things up, for, not starting the key players. And then there's a few people moaning after the game because we lost, and that was to be expected. But I think the loss was to be expected as well. Brentford are a very, very good side. We seem to have an awful record against the Bees, not just Brentford but Brighton as well. They are our bogey sides, those two teams, and I think it was to be expected. No injuries and a 2-0 loss. I think quite a few people would have took that before the game kicked off, and no injuries is the key thing out of it. There's question marks over Mikel Antonio after Moyes hinted at a calf injury before the game. So hopefully that's more smoke and mirrors than anything else. But Alkmaar won convincingly yesterday. But they started pretty much the same 11 bar 2 changes, I think, to what they played on Thursday. So you can expect an element of fatigue from them. Whereas we made 9 changes today, which was, I think, was called for. Moyes said pre-match that he'd seen a wee bit of fatigue, he said. And I think he was right there. And I think he made the right decision. And he finally sort of went in line with what the fans wanted and what the fans requested. He saw the light, and he went through and he made the changes. And well, if any of those players are remotely, sort of angry that they're not getting game time, then I'll just present them that game today, because I thought the players that came in were pathetic. I mean, if we're going to be honest, it was awful. It was a dead rubber game. It felt like a pre-season game, and they controlled it. Could the game have gone differently? Could we got a point out of it if it wasn't for the VAR decision? Possibly, but it still doesn't sway away from the fact that Brentford were by far the better side, deserved to win, and those players aren't good enough, are they? I think that reinforces that fact. Those players that played today are simply not good enough. And the big mistakes, yes, came from Aguerd and Fabianski, who are from the first team, but just everything about those players that yesterday didn't spring to mind about they should be in the starting lineup. There was plenty of opportunities given out today for players to prove themselves to Moyes. I didn't think one of them took that opportunity. I didn't think Johnson was great. Neither was Emerson. If we're talking about defenders, I don't think Downs really did anything to wow Moyes. I don't think he was particularly good. Cornell, I didn't even know was on the pitch until he got subbed off. Fornals was poor. There was too many of them there that are fringe players now that aren't good enough, which indicates a rebuild needed again this summer. We said we needed a rebuild last summer, and now we're going to need an even bigger one this summer, because we've got players leaving. We're going to have Rice leaving for sure. We've got players that are out of contract come this summer. We're going to need a massive rebuild there. And not only is it quantity of players coming in, but it's quality, because that exposed today how poor our second string 11 was, because that's taking nothing away from Brentford, because I thought they were very good. They were well drilled. They took their chances. They deserved to win the football match. But at the same time, we were really, really poor. I don't think we presented and we offered any sort of threat really until until Ben Rama and Rice and Mubama came on. I thought it was good for Mubama to get some minutes. I don't think he got enough minutes. I'd like to seen him come on earlier, if not started. I thought Danny Ings was a little bit better yesterday, but again, I still don't see the benefit of playing him over Mubama, if I'm totally honest with you. And yeah, I think it really shows how much we trust and how much faith we put in to the players that start week in, week out. How much faith we put into the Bowens, the Rices, the Paquetas, the Antonios. Because those players that are the foundations and the sort of second string players really, really did not shed themselves in much positive light. And I think that's, really, really given the fan base a wake up call, and it should do for Moyes and the owners as well, that those players, most of them probably won't be here next season and probably shouldn't be here come next season. And you know, it's disappointing as well because a couple of players that we've had decent performances off this season. I thought Emerson's played quite well throughout the majority of the season, but he's had a little bit of a drop off, and that's why Cresswell's come back in, and Cresswell's been excellent. Which, you know, that's nothing to take away from Cresswell, but Emerson's had a slight drop in form. Fornals has, you know, just completely lost the plot this year. This year, probably this season. You know, there's a reason why he's not getting game time. It's because he's been poor, and you know that was reinforced again yesterday because every single pass he seemed to, you know, commit, and every single pass he made, he seemed to lose the ball, which is not a good sign. You know, he's a fan favourite amongst the fan base, but you know the fans are waking up now and realising that he, you know, definitely yesterday was one of the worst. He wasn't good enough. What impact does a player like Fornals have to our team? What impact does he have? Yes, he's good defensively, but does he offer anything attacking? No, he doesn't. So does he go in the summer as well? There's plenty of questions to be answered, and of course now we go in and I think I've gone down a little spiral there that we don't need to worry about until the summer. You know, let's get through these remaining games now before we start worrying about rebuilds and signings and players and all of that sort of stuff. But it was just a bit of an unnerving and worrying wake up call today about, you know, we knew we had a decent squad there, and you know that's commendable as well because last season we played Brentford in a similar position where this game away from home to Brentford was sandwiched in between two crucial European games, and we sort of played the same starting 11 that we played in Europe, and they were completely out of it, and we lost 2-0. This time we had a fresh team because we got some squad depth there. We've accumulated some squad depth, and we're still really poor and lost 2-0. So I think that speaks volumes of the performance today. So, you know, if players wanted to prove something to Moyes today, well, they failed, to be honest with you, because, you know, a lot of them didn't look particularly interested. I thought Cornet, you know, as I said, I didn't really notice him till he got subbed off, and that is never a good sign for an attacking player wanting to catch the eye of the manager. But having said that, you know, we don't need to worry about that. The objective of that was to, you know, the objective of today's game. We could have done without today's game, yesterday's game, so we could have done without it. And if we look back now and we win on Thursday, then we'll probably say, yeah, fair enough. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And even if we don't win on Thursday, I don't think we're going to look back and go, it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because it doesn't. We're safe. It would have no sort of, you know, no impact to our season whether we won, drew, or lost today, and that's the bottom line of it. So, you know, I've had a little bit of a semi rant there about the players because I didn't think they were good enough, but it didn't really matter today. Yesterday, that's the main thing. It didn't matter. So now we've got to put that to the side. Forget that game ever happened yesterday. Forget it ever happened, right? And move on and focus on this massive, monumental game against Alkmaar on Thursday. We are 90 minutes away. We are a draw away from a European final. And that's why Moyes rested all those players today. We are a draw away from a European final. That's what's at stake now for those players, and having most of them rested, you know, fresh and ready to go out in Alkmaar on Thursday. I think that is just an even bigger bonus, and hopefully we get the job done. And of course, we'll discuss that game in the coming days as well. But I wasn't impressed with what I saw today, and I don't think any West Ham fan was. A minor and major worry at the same time, because at the moment, in the short term, it matters none. But come the summer, when we look back on this game and go, flipping how those Fringe players were pathetic that day, then, you know, we're going to have some serious questions to answer about who we keep this summer and who we let go, and how we improve, because there's no doubt about it. This squad needs improvement. You know, we've last season we didn't have the bodies there. This season we do have the bodies there, and yesterday proves why those bodies aren't good enough, and we need to improve the quality of it now whilst maintaining the quantity of players we've got there. It's a huge conundrum and rebuild for West Ham in the summer, so it was a worrying wake-up call today, but we don't need to worry about that yet. Let's now focus on this game against Alkmaar on Thursday. I'm buzzing and nervous, and all the emotions are starting to rummage around inside me for this game. It's a massive game, of course, and yeah, I'm nervous for it. I really, really am. We are one game away from a European final for thousands of West Ham fans going to Prague for a great few days. But yeah, let's get past Alkmaar first. We've got a nervy few days ahead of our trip to the Netherlands. But until then, thank you very much indeed for watching. And this has been the Monday morning chat right here on West Ham Official. Not the result we wanted yesterday, but doesn't really matter, does it? We'll see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much. Come on, you Irons, and just beat them on Thursday, please. Come on, you Irons. See you soon. Bye-bye.